everyone, I'm Ms. Chemari Oro from BEd3 Constructivism. Did you know the Earth's lithosphere is divided into several segments called plates? There are 7 major tectonic plates. These are Pacific Plate, North American Plate, Eurasian Plate, African Plate, Antarctic Plate, South American Plate, and Australian Plate. These plates are gradually moving. Majority of the findings of the scientists, plates are moving at an average rate between 0.60 cm per year to 10 cm per year. As plate moves, majority of the formation are earthquakes, volcanoes, and mountains ranges along plate boundaries. These geological features serve as the basis in marking plate boundaries. So, for today's lesson, we will learn about the different types of plate boundaries. Examine the plate tectonic map. What do the arrows in the map indicate? Are all plates moving on the same directions? The arrows on the map tells the direction of movement of each plate. Each plate is slowly moving relatively to each other, causing geological events to happen along their boundaries. So what are the different types of plate boundaries? What other geological events could be formed by this type of plate boundaries? There are 3 distinct types of plate boundaries, which are differentiated by the type of movement we exhibit. We have convergent plate boundaries, divergent plate boundaries, transform fault plate boundaries. First, let's learn about convergent plate boundary. When 2 tectonic plates move toward each other and collide, they form a convergent plate boundary, or also known as destructive plate boundary. As 2 plates collide, a collision zone is created, and one of leading edges of a plate will be subducted and destroyed. That is why it also known as destructive plate boundary. Next, let's learn about divergent plate boundary. Divergent plate boundaries are located where plates are moving from one another, is also known as constructive plate boundary. As 2 plates move apart, it creates a zone of tension and form a gap where molten materials will emerge and solidify, forming geological features such as volcanoes or mountains. Now, let's talk about the transform fault plate boundary, or also known as conservative margin. Plates slide past each other so that the relative movement is horizontal. In this type of plate boundary, no plate margins are being destroyed or formed. Rather, it forms mostly the shaking of the ground known as earthquakes. Did you know that the diffraction zone that forms a transform plate boundary is known as a transform fault? Most transform faults are found in the ocean basin and connect offset in the mid-ocean ridges. Now let's find out if you learned something from our lesson. I have here 3 pictures and you identify what plate boundaries it is. So, I will give you 2 minutes to think. Okay, time's up. Let's reveal the answer. A is transform fault boundaries. B is convergent boundary. C is divergent boundary. Now, let's summarize the topic. We learned about the 3 main types of plate boundaries. So first, convergent plate boundary, where 2 plates are colliding. And second is the divergent plate boundary, where 2 plates are moving apart. Third is the transform fault plate boundary, where plates slide past each other. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.